Welcome back to the MyOhMy Events podcast. It's a pleasure to spend time with you this afternoon. It's gloriously sunny outside here. I hope it is where you are too. Oh, excuse me, I'm raspy today. I think it's all the pollen. I hope you're doing well, and I hope you've managed to catch most of the series so far. I'm interested in speaking to some more wonderful business people. So if you are listening and you know someone I need to speak to, or you're listening and you think, Lorna, I need to be on your podcast and talk about how we have shifted to the virtual space, or how we have shifted to a hybrid offering, or perhaps how you're struggling, and we can do some live coaching. That would be pretty cool. Do get in touch, Lorna@MyOhMyEvents.com. It'd be great to hear from you. Today, I'd love to talk to you about to hybrid or not to hybrid. It's a conversation and a debate that continues to reign. Obviously, post-pandemic, the world has gone digital, and our audiences are expecting next level events online. Gone are the days where you could rock up with a slide deck and talk to it for 2 hours. No, our audiences want and deserve better. Which is where the production, OBS suites, better sound, better graphics, video, animation, and everything in between all comes into play. People now are expecting events to be more of a production and are expecting them to be immersive and interactive. And I know I bang on about it every single episode, but you need to be in that space too. Now, as the world is starting to open up again, more people are venturing out into the real world, and face-to-face events are coming back. And we have certainly seen an increase and a rise in face-to-face conferences. However, it would be extremely remiss if you weren't incorporating a hybrid aspect into your event. And there's two schools of thought around this, and I'd explore both with you. One is that you have your face-to-face event, you have a couple of cameras set up, and you just record. You record the speakers, you record the slides, and you release that recording afterwards. So if people couldn't attend face-to-face, but they still want the content, they can buy or access the recording. Okay, one way of doing it. The second option is that you run a live stream, and people that are online can get interactive, can start to interact with your event, can ask questions live, can get the content as it's being delivered. Much more immersive, a little bit more complicated because you do need live production in the room. However, in terms of client interaction, it is far better. In terms of getting levels of interest per speaker, per topic, if you've got a multi-day event, it's much more telling. It also generates a lot more buzz. It's a lot better at raising your brand profile, at raising your business profile or your charity profile by running the dual event. And there's also no reason why you can't charge the same amount for the in-person ticket as the online ticket, because you're live streaming. People who are viewing it online are going to be getting the same access. Two different schools of thought. The reasons you really should look at including a hybrid element is, one, it's your contingency. If all your speakers come down with an awful bug, it means that your event can still go ahead because they can still stream from home. If the venue goes into collapse because hospitality is on its knees at the moment, it's not a problem. We have the online capability there, and you can switch. It also means that you can continue to interact with your global audience. You've built this global audience, and people were attending your events from wherever in the world, and they still can, even if they can't attend face-to-face because they just can't get there. They can't attend face-to-face because they can't afford the flights, or their companies have cut travel budgets, or they have sustainability, that's easy to say, sustainability commitments, and they don't want to be flying around or commuting hours and hours to get to an event. It's actually greener and more sustainable to access it in the online space. Multiple reasons why people still want to access the online. And the last but not least is that people have just got in the habit of being able to grab their breakfast, plonk themselves in front of a computer, and view an event, something that they wanted to see, get all the information whilst still in their pajamas, whilst still being able to pick the kids up from school, whilst still being able to take a lunch break and walk the dog. It's how people like to work now, how people like to receive their information. So by not running a hybrid aspect, you are missing out big time on the reach of your event and service to your community. Hybrid doesn't have to be scary, and it doesn't have to be super expensive. Yes, you can pay tens to hundreds of thousands of pounds for a production team. However, it doesn't have to cost the world. And you will offset the costs of running a hybrid event by the fact that you can charge the same amount for an online ticket as a face-to-face ticket. You also can reduce the size of the room. So if previously you would have had to have a 500-person event for 3 days to be able to make costs and profits, you can potentially hire a smaller space, so potentially a 100-person room face-to-face, make the face-to-face tickets more exclusive and offer a couple of extra benefits potentially. But you're going to be charging a same or similar amount for the online content too. So your profits will just drop straight to your bottom line. So not spending on the larger venue, not spending on the food and drink will actually increase your costs. And the good news is your sponsors can still get involved. You can still have sponsorship deals whereby you send out virtual attendance packs as well as face-to-face in the real world attendance goodie bags. You can have virtual stalls. You can have still have offerings and mini websites to support your hybrid element of your event. And you've got the contingency that if anything goes wrong, you can switch to online in a heartbeat. Now, having the recorded content as your hybrid event, so instead of streaming your event, you have a couple of cameras set up and the event recorded, you can absolutely do that. But what you're losing, the value that you're losing, is the ability for people to ask questions live, the ability to build the hype of the event live, and potentially the opportunity to speak live to an enormous audience. Yes, you can sell the recording and people still get the information, but it's almost a half job and potentially will cost you money in editing the recordings afterwards. So don't forget to weave that into your budget, that you will need to edit the recordings and edit them well to be of good value for money. And then make sure that you're segueing between 2 different shots and you're incorporating the slides into that recording as well. So don't forget to budget for that. It's not always a cheaper option, especially if it's a multi-day event and you've got multiple speakers. Those recordings can be quite unwieldy, quite chunky, and can take a good piece of editing. If you're live streaming, of course, the production is done on the fly. You can edit by exception, so you can edit out any glitches or any particularly long pauses where your face-to-face people have taken a while to come back from lunch. But it's much faster to edit because you are producing in the room. So you can still produce a recording for afterwards, but it's faster to do. So you could potentially have that up within 24 hours, if not faster. So they're my hot tips. The bottom line really is if you're running a face-to-face event, you are missing a trick if you're not making some of it or all of it accessible to the online world. People are expecting you to be able to do that now. People want to consume their information in that way. So your job is to serve and to appeal to your audience and give them what they need in those circumstances. If you need any advice on how to hybrid, please do get in touch, Lorna at MyOhMyEvents.com. You can reach out. We've got oodles of blogs on how to do it. We've got step-by-step guides on how to do it, or you can just have a chat with me and I'll walk you through what your options are for your event. And how you can go about either doing it yourself or how I might be able to help, or I'll point you in the direction of a supplier that can help. So go forth and hybrid. I can't wait to see what you come up with, and get creative. People want to be entertained. People want to see some slick production. They want it to be funny and they want people to be human. So don't worry about adding too much polish. Until next time, have fun out there, and I look forward to speaking with you very, very soon.